Hello everybody, it's Stephen Howson and this is my preview for Manchester United versus Shrewsbury in the FA Cup. Now, this should be, United are going to turn up and wipe the floor with them. Nice one, see you later. But I can't even believe I'm thinking about this, that this is probably going to be a difficult game for us. The smaller teams are who we struggle against. We've got a great record against the top 6 in the Premier League and an awful record against the worst 6 in the Premier League. And then when we come up against the likes of Midtjylland and smaller teams in the Cup, like Shrewsbury, who are 21st in League One, we struggle. Now, I can't explain why we do. I really can't. I'm just absolutely lost for words now. Shrewsbury play 3 at the back and 2 up front, generally. And I think they'll play 5 at the back against us, which leaves us a lot of problems. We've found a little bit of joy in the flanks of late, playing Cameron Borthwick-Jackson at left back, and we've had Varela and even Darmian doing quite well down the right. Darmian's injured, Varela's injured, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson is ill. Hopefully he's back for this, because he didn't look too ill the other day when he was at Carrington. He looked okay. Maybe he was just too ill to get on the plane with everybody else and didn't want to spread it around. So hopefully it was a couple of day bug and he's sorted and he'll be back in the team, because I think his crossing could be key in this. What's the team that we're going to be that we're going to play? I haven't a clue. We've got such an important week coming up for Man United at the moment. We've got Shrewsbury Monday, Midtjylland second leg on Tuesday, where bizarrely I still think we'll go through for some reason. I saw the celebrations that Midtjylland was doing and I just thought, they feel like this is the job done already. The job is not done, it's half time, isn't it? And you've got to come back to Old Trafford and you've got to try and perform again. And I think while smaller teams generally do manage to get a result one-off against the bigger teams, they don't do it twice. The problem that we've got is we've just got such a young, inexperienced side, and especially defence, that I just don't see how we're going to change what happened. Someone made a great point to me the other day, and I can't think who it was. I think it was my mate Rick. And he said, we've got the likes of Schneiderlin on the bench and we've got the likes of Carrick in the side. Why do we play someone like Paddy McNair in defence when we already had such a young defence anyway? Why not bring Carrick into the defence just for that older head, where he's not going to get run ragged by fast pacey wingers and attacking midfielders? And then you've got a more experienced back line, and that sometimes can be a massive thing in Europe, and I think he's absolutely on the money. We could have dropped Carrick back and we could have played Schneiderlin, and there's a million coulda, woulda, shouldas. There needs to be a shake-up somewhere in the side, and I think with the management as well now, I think it's gone too far that everyone just does not look arsed about what's going on. In the past, Sir Alex Ferguson would have dropped massive names and played youngsters and said, go and grab your chance with 2 hands. And we look to our youngsters, and there's some fantastic youngsters coming through, but there has to be a right environment, I think, for youngsters to come through. And I think when the pressure is so on like it is at the moment, even Shrewsbury 21st in League One is not the best of times to be throwing in youngsters. I do think Andreas Pereira is one he's not only knocking on the door, he's took the door off the hinges and he's standing in the doorway. He needs to be given an opportunity. Maybe it's time to rest Lingard and bring Pereira in. I think Memphis still needs to play. He looked dangerous the other night and was unlucky not to have got more than the 1 goal that he got. I think he can do a lot more. There's still a lot of holes in his game, but he's still a young player. We forget how young he is. You know, he is younger than Lingard. We need to be patient with him. Moving to another country, adapting to a new league, dealing with a new gaffer. I know he's worked with him before, but all the different things that do take time. And I think he's been unfairly treated at times by Van Gaal. And I do think sometimes his performances have warranted a drop in, but I think it's now time for him to get a run of games, because if he can get that confidence back that he had at the start of the season, he can be a real player for us towards the end of the season. If Rooney's going to be out for a couple of months, then Martial's going to play up front. So we need Memphis to start pulling it together on the left, and I wouldn't mind seeing Pereira on the right. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing Memphis on the right so we can bring in Pereira on the left, because I do think that lack of a left foot in the way we play him. He played very well for PSV on the left, sometimes down the middle, and sometimes like as a number 10 just off the main striker. He's very one-footed, which is his right foot, which is unfortunate for a left winger. I like inverted wingers when they're coming in and being productive and banging it, and Memphis doesn't really do that. Memphis takes a little bit too long when he's coming inside. He's not got that killer instinct, I don't think, just yet. So I wouldn't mind seeing him on the right, where he can go past people and get to the byline and get his crosses in, and we can have Pereira doing that on the left, coming in and taking the shots, because he's got a phenomenal shot. We've seen him score spectacular goals all over the place from that position. So I think that's how I would like to see us go on Monday night. Memphis on the right, Pereira on the left, and maybe Herrera instead of Mata, just to mix it up a little bit, because I think Herrera's got a tempo in him, hasn't he? And I don't think we would have seen him shit out of the tackle that Mata shit out of. And I think that's the sort of... It led to the goal, isn't it? So I think that's the sort of mistake that you can make someone sit on the bench for. And I think Herrera is decent as a number 10. I would like to see him there with a bit of tempo. Which leaves us then, what have we got now for the central midfield? Schneiderlin? Yes. But Schneiderlin and Carrick? No. I think it's just a little bit too lacking in energy at the moment. Unless that's, you know, a symptom of what's going on with the rest of the team. So maybe this is the time that we bring someone through from the academy. There's been some cracking performances in central midfield. Everybody knows Timothy Fosu-Mensah's knocking on that door. I'd be shocked to see him play there at the moment. I think Warren Joyce is letting him adapt to the game as a left back and a right back and at centre half before dropping him into midfield and seeing what he can do. Matty Willock's another one who's having a great run in the 21s at the moment. Maybe it's just a little bit too soon for him as well. But I think he's not too far off, at least maybe getting on the bench. And I want to see a proper central midfielder in there as well. James Weir's done well recently in centre mid, which is a bit of a surprise because I mean, he's so versatile. He can play on the wing, at right back, centre mid, up front. I just think he's a little bit too slim. I'd like to see a bit of a beast in there, really. And I think you get that in Willock and you get that in Fosu-Mensah. And I don't really think you get that in James Weir. So I would like to see someone with something about him physically in that central midfield slot. But there's not many come to mind, is there? I have no idea how long Schweinsteiger's going to be out for. Otherwise, I'd like to see him back in the team because I do think he can offer a lot of leadership that we're missing because we don't have anybody at the minute. Who was going to lift us on Thursday night? Where was the senior pros? I think there were some senior pros that didn't step up to the mark, really, for me. Matters one, Carrick's another, Smalling. For the first half of the season, Mike Smalling was absolutely fantastic. Chris Smalling's come back now and he's faded a little bit. If he's going to step up and be that guy, then he's got to be able to rollock someone. And for all the failings that I think Rooney's got, I think one of the things that he does fantastic is when someone's messed up, he gets at them and he lets them know. And we've seen him do it several times. And there was nobody doing that on Thursday night. And I think if we go to Shrewsbury Monday, we need somebody in the side that's going to lift us. Even the likes of Raphael would be flipping out and kicking off when we go behind. And then he would put a challenge in that lifts the crowd and makes everyone know that they're in a fight. And I think that's just something that we're lacking a little bit at the moment. And as mad as it sounds, there's a player that we've got in the squad that could do that for us. If you watch the under-21s, you'll see that Marcus Rashford and Joe Riley do two things very well. And that is chasing the opposition down and bringing a tempo to our play. Joe Riley wins balls that he has got no fucking right to win. Absolutely no right to win. He starts off behind the guy that he's chasing. He gets in front of him, he wins the ball and he spreads a play. And you go, Jesus fucking Christ. If everybody had that attitude, teams would not lose games. And Marcus Rashford, when he's been playing on the left-hand side in front of Joe Riley, they create goals by forcing mistakes from the opposition between the two of them. Tevez used to do it very well for the first team. Rooney used to do it very well 7 or 8 years ago for us. But there is nobody in the team that's got that sheer dogged determination to put someone under pressure. So if Cameron Borthwick-Jackson's not fit, I'd play Joe Riley and just tell him, you go out there and you chase every ball and you fucking let these lads from League One know that they're not fit to lace your boots, and show why you're deserving of a place in this team. Because do you know what? He's absolutely grafted his socks off. So if anyone's going to get another start, if the next player that comes up from the academy, let's make it someone who's just pure and utter graft. Not someone with bags and bags of skill and can beat 6-7 men and bury it into the top corner. Because, you know, they're rare players, aren't they? Let's have someone who just grafts. The most honest player you've seen for years. So Joe Riley for me. If Cameron Borthwick-Jackson's not fit, because I think he offers more in terms of his crossing ability, but if he's not an option for us because he's still a bit rough, then for me, Joe Riley, start him at left back. He's a natural right footer. He does lack in a left foot really for the crossing if he's on that side, but I think you don't really lose out too much, because there will be nothing comes down that left hand side. Absolutely nothing. He's so dogged and determined. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a joy to watch, honestly. You find yourself laughing at how ridiculous it is that he just puts so much pressure on him. There's no such thing as a 50-50 ball. I think he even thinks he's got the chance when he's only got a 20% of getting it. He will go in and he will fly in hard, and I think that might be the difference. As mental as it sounds, you've got an academy player who's never played for the first team, and we're talking about him like he could be the difference, but there needs to be something, doesn't there? There's nobody in the first team that's going to go fucking lift somebody, and that is what we need at the moment. Everyone's playing too nice, everyone's too accepting of a defeat, and if we go here on Monday night with that sort of attitude, we're going to struggle. And this is fucking Manchester United, and I should not be sitting here talking about how we're going to struggle at a League One side. The changes need to happen. The management, we all know that changes are afoot there. The first 11, there needs to be changes in attitude, in tempo, in fucking grit and determination. Yeah, maybe the manager doesn't want to be there, and maybe that's going to get resolved. But do you know what? Unless you pull your fucking socks up, you lot ain't going to be there neither. So the players have to shoulder some responsibility for this. And Monday night, let's fucking see if we could do something about it. I know that didn't end up being like a complete preview about the Shrewsbury game, but there it is. I think Shrewsbury are going to play either 3 at the back or 5 at the back. And I think they're just going to do what every team has done against us, which is try and soak up as much pressure as possible, because we are going to have shitloads of possession, and they're going to try and hit us on the break using pace. You've got a couple of ex-United players in there, Richie Wellens and Larnell Cole. They might use Cole as an outlet because he's a bit of a grafter as well. He's got a little bit of pace to him and a big engine on him as well. So, are we going to win? I don't know, is the honest answer. I would think so. But I think it's going to be a scrap, 1-0, 2-1, something like that. And obviously it's a cup final for them if they can manage to get a replay back to Old Trafford. Thank you for watching. That's my long-winded rant / Shrewsbury preview. Drop us a like. Give us a comment. What you think about who should be in the starting 11. And what score you think it's going to be. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Laters.